when you look at the post-sequel world, we talked about Starfighter on Thursday's live stream. We've talked about the Rey movie a million times over again because it's been delayed and pushed back and all this other stuff. When you talk about the post-sequel world, most people, now I say most because not everybody, because it's never been everybody when it comes to talking about Star Wars, most people would agree that if you're going to do a post-sequel world piece of content, the best thing you could do would be a Ben Solo project. The best thing you could possibly do would be something connected to the character of Kylo Ren.
He said a post-sequel. Now, personally, if I were, if I wanted Disney Star Wars to succeed and I could give advice to Lucasfilm, I think it would be move as far away from the sequel trilogy as possible into the future in a post-sequel world. Beyond Rey, beyond Kylo, beyond Thrawn, beyond the Mandalorian and Ahsoka, move way past all that, start fresh with something new. And Star Wars Marvel purist over there on Rumble has his hairline receded more since I last saw this show. Dude, I'm telling you, look at Soy Boy Coy. Shilling for Disney is tough, man. They lose their hair, dude. It affects them physically. Shilling for Disney and Disney Star Wars affects the physical appearance of these shills. Look no further than Soy Boy Coy and a guy who loves fake Star Wars. But an obviously dead character is the best way forward for Disney Star Wars, according to a guy who loves fake Star Wars. Again, it doesn't have to make sense. Nothing in Disney Star Wars makes sense. Palpatine coming back doesn't make sense. So this doesn't have to make sense. Doesn't matter. You heard the full fat fuck last week talk about this.
Because he was the fan favorite character of the sequel trilogy. There's no denying that.
No.
Maybe Babu Frick, but he's more of a glove shitter than a main character. So if you're going to continue the sequel trilogy,
I honestly, not to agree with this fucker, but I honestly do think that Babu Frick is more liked and probably a better character than Kylo Ren.
If you're going to continue with those characters, Ben has to be there. Because other than him, most fans weren't really fans of Rey or Finn or Rose or even Poe Dameron. I certainly like those characters, but Kylo Ren is a step above all of them. He's my favorite of the sequel trilogy. He's probably many of your favorites of the sequel trilogy.
I would love to ask, why is he your favorite? Why is Kylo Ren your favorite? Because he's conflicted? Because he's got the It's Red saber? Like, what? He's the villain, but is he the villain? Again, all his character does, he's conflicted. That's the number one thing. He's conflicted. His character makes zero sense. He loses to a woman in the first movie. Loses to a woman in every movie. He kills his father in the first movie, but can't bring himself to kill his mother in the second movie. He's bad. He's maybe good. He's good. He's bad. Then he's good again. Again, he's the most inconsistent character in probably all of Star Wars.
Tell me in the chat, is Kylo Ren your favorite character in the sequel trilogy? So it seems like a no-brainer to have your first post-sequel story be about Ben Solo, whether that be bringing him back from the dead or something else.
Doesn't matter. It can be anything.
So, with that being said, if you're going to go into the post-sequel world and not jump 100 years into the future and tell a story about Grogu or something, it has to involve Kylo Ren or Ben Solo.
So, well, hate to break it to you, but it's not, because even Bob Iger and his dumb fucking ass recognizes that is a stupid idea. All right, we're gonna jump ahead a little bit. Lots of long clips from this guy, so bear with me, but enjoy the hairline.
That would have been so rudely interrupted. Darth Plagueis lives with a $10 hollow. Oh my god, that's extremely generous. I appreciate that quite a bit. Says, so do you think this movie will actually happen? Also, happy 5 years. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Listen to this.
Do I think it will actually happen? Yes. Yes.
It's gonna have, just like the Mandalorian and Grogu is gonna make $1 billion. The hunt for Ben Solo is gonna happen, baby. Sorry, 2 billion. I don't know, chat. What's more likely, the Mandalorian and Grogu making $2 billion, or the hunt for Ben Solo actually happening? I don't know.
I'm still at about like 99% sure it will happen. It's more a question to me of when it
99%.
will happen, not if. Because Bob Iger is the one who shut it down. Bob Iger, Alan Bergman, they're the two who shut this thing down. He's done after next year. His contract is up in 2026 and he will be replaced. And it's not like, oh, they'll just extend his contract, because Bob Iger was already the CEO of Disney for years before he stepped down in 2019 and then had to be brought back because it was such a shit show.
Isn't the reason, correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, but isn't the reason Adam Driver came out and talked about this was because it was officially dead and it was officially not happening? And by the way, if this movie were to happen, it would not happen for like at least another like 6 years or so. That's how long it would take for this movie to actually happen if it were going to happen. And 6 to 7, and you got, is the fandom going to want this movie for another 6 to 7 years, or are they going to move on from it? I think they're probably going to move on from it because they already have moved on from it for the most part. But there are still more people talking about this than the Mandalorian and Grogu. So I will give it that. But then again, it's the Mandalorian and Grogu, and nobody gives a fuck.
So I think you're going to see Bob Iger leave the company next year. And whoever comes in next is going to see the writing on the wall, which is fans want this movie. And it's a no-brainer if you're going to do a post-sequel trilogy story with the fan favorite character from the sequel trilogy. And then it will get made. So I don't think it's a question of if this movie will get made. It's more a question of when it will get made.
I think if we have a most delusional shill of the year 2025, I think a guy who loves fake Star Wars already has it locked up. And he's not done.
Didn't see how Ben Solo was alive. Now, honestly, I can get not liking the characters of the sequel trilogy, not wanting a continuation of the sequels. That's perfectly fine. Like, if you don't like the sequels, that's one thing. But to sit here and say you can't possibly imagine how Ben Solo could be alive, I can imagine 10 different ways. I can imagine 30 different ways.
Yeah.
This is Star Wars.
Yeah, you can just make shit up. You can pull shit out of your ass. That's Disney Star Wars. That's Disney Star Wars 101. Just pull shit out of your ass. Just make it all up as you go along. That's Disney Star Wars. Look at this guy. Look at him getting in the camera, like getting in our faces with this shit. It's funny. This guy really loves Disney Star Wars. I got to give it to him for that, you know.
No one's ever truly gone. As the fandom has recently said, there is no death in Star Wars.
There is no death in Star Wars. Pretty sure there is.
Now, I wholeheartedly disagree with that message because I think, many characters, if not all characters, die in Star Wars at some point. I mean, every main character of any Star Wars project ever has died. Luke Skywalker, Han, Leia, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Padme, all of them. They've all died. However, because of returns like Darth Maul, because of returns like Palpatine,
which is stupid,
and Asajj Ventress, and Ahsoka Tano even, you have people saying that no one ever really dies in Star Wars. So why is it so far-fetched to think that this character, Kylo Ren, one of only two of this mysterious dyad in the Force, cannot come back to life?
Because it ruins the stakes. It ruins the stakes. If you go back and ask JJ when he made The Rise of Skywalker, said, hey, JJ, is Kylo Ren dead? Pretty sure he'd tell you that the answer is yes. And constantly killing off characters and bringing them back having characters get stabbed with lightsabers, impaled with lightsabers, and surviving, just randomly coming back, it ruins all of the stakes. And it's stupid. Palpatine was stupid. Darth Maul was stupid. Again, you can't be upset with characters getting stabbed with lightsabers and surviving and not be upset with Darth Maul coming back. Darth Maul coming back, and I blame Dave Filoni for it. Darth Maul getting cut in half and dropped down, hundreds, thousands of stories and surviving is fucking retarded, and I blame Dave Filoni for that. It's fucking retarded. And the Disney shills are using that to try and justify shit like Ben Solo coming back. And it ruins the stakes. Every time somebody, you guys saw it in the Ahsoka shills react. Whenever Sabine got stabbed, they were all like, oh, wait, lightsaber stabs don't mean anything. People survive them all the time in Disney Star Wars. She's probably going to be just fine. And we covered that on the channel. It ruins the stakes. Death means nothing. The meaning of death. Why not just, I'll tell you what, why doesn't Disney just bring in the Dragon Balls from Dragon Ball Z? Disney can buy Dragon Ball Z, God forbid, but bring in the Dragon Balls and then just wish people back to life. Why not?
Qui-Gon begs to differ. Well, Qui-Gon is also dead. Force Ghost, you're still dead.
Well, why is Qui-Gon dead? Again, like, what's the difference between Qui-Gon and Kylo now? What's the difference between Obi-Wan and Kylo now? They died the exact same way. Vader, why not you could just bring anybody back. Like, who does Disney have to bring back from what's obviously killed off character? Does Disney have to bring back in order for these people to say, okay, no, you can't do that? Oh, that's right. Qui-Gon was a toxic white man. Well, so was Ben Solo. Kylo Ren was actually, I probably would say, more toxic than Qui-Gon Jinn was. The more it happens, the less special it becomes. And now Disney wants the death is not permanent comic book thing. Exactly. It's just like the thing that you ask these people is you just say, okay, what if Disney brings back Qui-Gon? What if Disney brings back Obi-Wan in the Dave Filoni movie? And the moment that they say no, they've lost the argument. Because they've died the same exact way that Kylo Ren died. This movie was going to take place, years or so after after the Rise of Skywalker? I didn't read the comics or does it say in any, because Disney had to put it in a novelization and in a comic, how long exactly it took for Palpatine to transfer his essence into the clone, which is not explained in the Rise of Skywalker. How long did that take? Months? Years? Has that ever been explained? I don't know. I haven't followed it. The point is, when you talk to these people, like, you just say, okay, well, how come you can't bring back Qui-Gon? Excuse me. How come you can't bring back Obi-Wan? How come you can't bring back Anakin as Vader? He's a Force ghost in Ahsoka. And then whenever they say, well, no, you can't do that, then these people have effectively lost the argument, because what's the difference? Disney Star Wars doesn't make sense, so it doesn't have to make sense. And that's their reasoning for this. The fans want it. That's the reasoning for this. And hilariously, I do think that this would make more money than if they were to do this movie. I will say this about The Hunt for Ben Solo. Hilariously, if they did it instead of The Mandalorian and Grogu, I do actually think it probably would have made more money. But The Mandalorian and Grogu, that's going to make $1 billion, according to this guy. $2 billion.
Bob Iger and Alan Bergman, we don't see how Ben Solo is alive. Adam and the fans, but we do. Oh, we do.
Yeah. I mean, I can see it. Just pull something out of your ass. Okay, is this the last one? No, sorry. We got a few more. 1523.
Kind of crazy. Adam Driver? Adam Driver? See, how I see it is when you look at a character like Kylo Ren, it's very similar to Darth Vader. In the original trilogy,
Oh.
Darth Vader starts out as this most
Get the fuck out of here.
evil guy in the galaxy, and eventually he turns back to the light, killing Emperor Palpatine.
Oh, you see? You see, there you have it. There you have it. Darth Vader killed Palpatine. He almost said that Darth Vader killed Palpatine. Oh, no, he didn't. That's Rey. They had to take it away and give it to Rey.
Eventually, he turns back to the light, killing Emperor Palpatine.
Yep. And you hear the chuckle. You hear that he knows he knows it's stupid. He knows that it's stupid, laughing at it. Took the victory over Palpatine away from Vader, away from Luke, and they gave it to Rey in Disney canon, not in the real canon.
Saving the day. The return of the Jedi being Anakin Skywalker, and his sacrifice ends in death. So if you're going to just do the exact same thing with Kylo Ren, which they pretty much do, why not mix it up? I'm not saying bring Anakin back to life. I'm saying bring Ben Solo.
Again, why not?
We're going to talk about Anakin Skywalker when we talk about Ahsoka Season 2 in a little bit.
Well, that's going to be a conversation for a few months from now. The Ahsoka Season 2 shills should definitely be fun. For the purposes of today, we're going to stick with the Kyle Ben return.
Aha, there we go. So this was the original one. This one on the bottom here, save hashtag the hunt for Ben Solo.
That
was weeks ago now.
There's the stupid flyovers that they did for the hunt for Ben Solo. People actually paid tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to fly this over Disney Studios. How sad is that, you guys?
Or feels like a really long time ago now. And then this top one was yesterday or 2 days ago. Shareholders want the hunt for Ben Solo. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Star Wars fans have this insane amount of power that we can use for good or bad. We've seen it be used for good with stuff like bringing Boba Fett back and getting his own show, making Rosario Dawson the live-action Ahsoka Tano.
How did the Book of Boba Fett turn out for you guys?
We've seen it be used for bad, like the cancellation of The Acolyte with no season 2.
Oh, buddy, I think that's good. That seems to be like good. Why is that bad?
All those cliffhangers of
toxic
Plagueis and Kymir and Osha and Yoda and Vanestra Rowe, and not getting a continuation of that because fans got it canceled. You've seen it with The Last Jedi. Rian Johnson was going to get a Star Wars trilogy. Star Wars fans stopped that. For better or for worse, they stopped that.
No, they stopped it because it was a fucking retarded movie that he did.
So Star Wars fans have this extraordinary ability to sway the content that we get for Star Wars. And right now you're seeing it, and there is a divide, but you're still seeing it, that the majority of Star Wars fans.
And I don't think Disney gives a single solitary shit what the fans think. It's all they care about is the money. They knew that The Acolyte would be a waste of money. They knew that Rian Johnson's trilogy would probably bomb or not make very much money at all. And that's that's why they're not doing it. If they thought that The Acolyte season 2 would make money, they would fucking do it. If they thought that Rian Johnson's trilogy would make money, if they thought that the Rey movie would make money, they'd be doing that first, like it was planned to be first. All right, how many more of this guy do we have? We got, okay, we're going to continue on. Okay, last one. Good shits. Last one for this video.
Ending different things. We've gotten a Times Square billboard. But it's the idea that Star Wars fans can get behind something like this, a sequel project. The most divisive thing in Star Wars ever is the sequel trilogy, specifically The Last Jedi, but is the sequel trilogy in general. Whether you like it or not, you can't deny how insane it divided the Star Wars fandom. And this,
I would actually say that that The Last Jedi killed Star Wars. That's where Star Wars officially died, and now it's, as I like to call it, The Walking Dead. I've explained that before.
now again, not 100% of people are on board, as you can tell. Even this poll in the chat right now is 65 to 35.
Now listen to that. Listen to that. This guy's audience. He did a poll. Do you want the Ben Solo movie? Yes or no? Only 65% of this dude's audience, which I assume is mostly pro Disney Star Wars, Disney shills, only 65% of them want the hunt for Ben Solo. That is very interesting. So when you look at the normal audience, everyone, outside, everyone culminated together, it's pretty safe. I would probably venture to say that less than half of what's left of the fandom want this movie. If I did a poll right now, you said, well, if I did a poll, I would probably say 90% or more of you would say that you don't want it, but some of you would say that you do want it simply for the damage that it would undoubtedly do to Disney Star Wars in general. So it wouldn't really be a fair poll, but even those people at the end of the day hate the character. I guess a better poll for me to do would be, do you like or dislike the Kylo Ren character? And then to that, I'd say more than 90% of you would probably say that you don't like the character. But again, this is a guy who has done nothing but shill for Disney Star Wars. And even his audience, only 65% of his audience want the hunt for Ben Solo. I think that's very telling. And of course, this guy knows that. And knows that, if the what's left of the Disney Star Wars fan base were to be polled, I'd say it'd probably be close to 50-50, perhaps even more would not want it than want it. It would lean in the negative. But the people who desperately, desperately want it, like this guy, clearly, clearly, as you saw with the fucking flyovers and the wanted posters, they're very retardedly passionate, I guess we'll say.
65% of you saying, yes, you do want this project. Still, not everybody's on board, but the majority is. And it's very strange to see
the majority, barely the majority in your poll,
the Star Wars fandom come together.
How do you know that a majority of the fandom is? But by your little poll, which probably only has 20, 30 people in it?
65% of you saying, yes, you do want this project. Still, not everybody's on board, but the majority is. And it's very strange to see the Star Wars fandom come together behind the idea of a sequel project.
Come together? You just said that the fandom is divided. You just said that it's divided 30 seconds ago. Hang on, let me find that. He literally just said that the fandom is clearly divided. But it's nice to see the fandom come. It's nice to see the clearly divided fandom come together. Are you serious?
As you can tell, even this poll in the chat right now is 65 to 35. 65% of you saying, yes, you do want this project. Still, not everybody's on board, but the majority is. And it's very strange to see the Star Wars fandom come together behind the idea of a sequel project.
Let me go back to the beginning here. I missed it.
Ending different things. We've got a Times Square billboard. But it's the idea that Star Wars fans can get behind something like this, a sequel project. The most divisive thing in Star Wars ever is the sequel trilogy, specifically The Last Jedi, but is the sequel trilogy in general. Whether you like it or not, you can't deny how insane it divided the Star Wars fandom.
How insanely divided the Star Wars fandom was, but they're all coming together for this when even in your poll, only 65% of them are.
And this, now again, not 100% of people are on board, as you can tell. Even this poll in the chat right now is 65 to 35.
But you go on to say here that the fandom is clearly united in wanting this movie. And clearly they're not.
65% of you saying, yes, you do want this project. Still, not everybody's on board, but the majority is. And it's very strange to see the Star Wars fandom come together behind the idea of a sequel project.
They're still divided. It's 65-45, but the fandom has come together.
It honestly looks good because it's been 10 years since The Force Awakens. It seems like, Star Wars fans are sort of healing, for lack of a better word, coming together, being more united than ever.
The fandom is more, I think, you see, the fandom is more united than ever. I think it feels that way to this guy because nobody cares anymore. Everyone's leaving. All the people who hate Disney Star Wars, a lot of them just don't care and they're leaving. That's why the Mandalorian and Grogu teaser trailer doesn't even have 10 million views on YouTube yet. Everybody's leaving. Nobody gives a shit anymore. They're letting you all say what you want to say in your little safe space because nobody cares anymore. That's why everyone's leaving. And you'll see that when it comes to the box office. Okay, so that's this video. Now we're going to jump to a different stream from a guy who loves fake Star Wars who had a little bit of a meltdown. Just a little bit of a meltdown. And here it is. The first one is at 1 minute 2 seconds. We're there.
Talk about the acolyte till the cows come home.
Oh, shit. Hang on a second. I have it on ×2 speed. I think.
However, there's always going to be people who find the worst in Star Wars. It doesn't help.
Wait, I thought, didn't you just say that the fandom was united in wanting the Hunt for Ben Solo? That was a different stream. Never mind. That was a different stream, you guys.
People who find the worst in Star Wars. It doesn't help that a lot of people make a lot of money.
I thought that the fandom was healing
from the interwebs for crapping on Star Wars. A lot of money to be made in controversial content.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We don't really hate Disney Star Wars as much as we say we do. We're just trying to do a Josh Den of Shill's Unity grift on all of you in the all of you in the chat here and in the audience to try and pull as much money out of you guys, as much views and everything out of you guys as we can. We don't really hate Disney Star Wars as much as we say we do. And the reason they think that is because, of course, they don't watch our content. They just look at the thumbnails and get triggered by the thumbnails, as we know in the past, as a lot of these shows have admitted.
And if I really wanted to make a lot of money in life, I would, make a whole channel about crapping on Star Wars. But here we are today.
Now, I can reverse this on this guy. If I wanted to get exclusive access to Disney and Disney Star Wars, get to go and get free gift baskets, get to get interviews from cast members and directors, upload them onto my channel and make money off of it, get a nice early non-spoiler review 2 to 3 days before the movie comes out, and getting all those juicy views to make money off of and ad revenue. I could do a live stream Q&A like the Real Rejects did, where people could ask me questions about the movie and super chats and make, how much did the Real Rejects make on that stream? Few $1,000s at least. If I wanted exclusive access, all I would have to do is be a Disney Star Wars shill. If I wanted the access, all I would have to do would be to act like you people, right? So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Are you telling me that the Star Wars shills love Disney Star Wars as much as they say they do, or are they doing it just for the recognition and the benefits, the gift baskets, the free video games, the vacations that I am sure no doubt are covered in some sort of per diem from Disney Lucasfilm? Remember the Star Wars Outlaws vacation? The VIP passes to Disneyland? Remember Star Wars Theory saying that he was invited to that, but he told them, if I don't like the game, if I don't like the free trial that you're going to have me play, I'm going to come out and say that I didn't like it. And then they ignored him. They ghosted him after he said that. It works both ways. But, you know, again, we're doing what we do for money.
First in Star Wars. It doesn't help that a lot of people make a lot of money from the interwebs for crapping on Star Wars. A lot of money to be made in controversial content. And if I really want to make a lot of money.
And by the way, the reason that we get more views and we get more money, quote unquote, is because more people agree with us than agree with you. And that gets under these guys' skin. If these guys were making a lot of money in ad revenue, if Disney Star Wars were as good, truly as good as they say it is, don't you think they'd be rubbing it in our faces?
In life, I would, make a whole channel about crapping on Star Wars. But here we are today, not doing that. Maybe I'm an idiot, but either way, I think I'd like to choose to have a happier life where I go to bed, speaking how I really feel about Star Wars rather than just. Besides the point, there's a lot of people that make a lot of money putting people down, crapping on things.
I wonder who he's talking about, chat. Definitely not talking about yours truly.
Whether they actually believe that or not. So yeah, when The Mandalorian and Grogu comes out, we're not going to be met with, 100% of Star Wars fans being like, this is the greatest thing ever, even if it is.
Now, this guy said something interesting. Let me go back a little bit here. I want to comment on
the Kenobi. Everybody hated Reva. Everybody hated young Leia. The interwebs, personal content. And if I really wanted to make a lot of money in life, I would, make a whole channel about crapping on Star Wars. But here we are today, not doing that. Maybe I'm an idiot, but either way, I think I'd like to choose to have a happier life where I go to bed, speaking how I really feel about Star Wars rather than just. Besides the.
So I wish. So the implication is that like we're unhappy, we're miserable, we're angry, and you guys know what I say. I say it all the time, and as you can see in this very stream, I mean, look at this stream compared to this guy's stream. We have more fun ripping on Disney Star Wars and ripping on the Disney Star Wars shills than they do enjoying it. And look at what we're watching. Who's having fun? Who's having fun on a special Friday night shill watch-alongs right now in the chat? Who's having fun and who is miserable at the moment? You talk about money. You have Den of Nerds wanting $500 a stream, who is a Disney shill, by the way. You have him fucking raging and abandoning a friend because of $500. And we're sitting here just laughing, having a good time, and enjoying $2 super chats. Like Melissa Lord. Headland, I like all the Star Wars. Melissa Lord for $2. Thank you for the $2, man. As you can see, according to a guy who loves Star Wars, we're just raking in the big bucks, right? Shitting on Disney Star Wars. This is way more fun. The chat is having a good old fucking time.
Point. There's a lot of people that.
So he continues on here a little bit. We got one more from a guy who loves fake Star Wars, and he is going to be nominated in the one. Okay, that was a good freeze frame right there. Seriously, does this guy looks like he's not having the best time. He looks like he's about to start crying, literally.
I want to switch gears a little bit here to Ahsoka Season 2. Positivity equals shill. Call me a shill all you want. Sadly, I'm not making money by Disney. I mean, Disney, if you're watching and we know that you are, I mean, call me. No.
Oh, yeah.
It is sad, though. It's sad that because I talk about Star Wars in a positive light, it makes me a shill.
No. This is what they always go to. I get this every video. I get this in the comment section. Also, if I like something, I'm a shill. No, going out and lying to your audience and saying that The Mandalorian and Grogu is going to make $2 billion at the box office to try and hype people, falsely hype people to go see it, that makes you a shill. Saying that The Acolyte is objectively a good show when it isn't, that makes you a Disney shill. Going to events like this makes you a Disney shill. And this guy just said, hey, Disney, this guy just said it. Hey, Disney, if you want to give me a call, he literally just did this. I'll play it again for you guys.
I tell Disney if you're all you want. Sadly, I'm not making money by Disney. I mean, Disney, if you're watching and we know that you are, I mean, call me. No. It is sad, though.
And these guys who aren't getting paid yet by Disney, the reason that they shill as hard as they do, the reason that they have the fucking Grogu dolls in the background next to their silver YouTube play button due to inflated subscribers through shorts, the reason that these guys are 100% positive, the reason you've never heard a guy who loves fake Star Wars criticize Disney Star Wars, and the reason he's wearing a Grogu and Mando hoodie right now is because he's trying to get noticed. And he just admitted if the call ever comes, he's going to be there for it. He's going to go. He's going to show up.